And we're back again, ready to get this boiler on the frame. Let me mention a few things about frames to begin with. This is an older model machine, and the frames on these older ones were a little stouter, heavier construction. And in this era, as you can see, it's the silver hammer tone paint that they were available. They had both silver and brown, and this old silver is, as you can see, is very resilient. It's held up quite well. There's a couple of patches where there's some rust showing, but on these frames, there's two different styles of feet. The early ones had these; they were square with an insert, and they installed with a post and a nut. So there's a hole drilled through the frame, and this is the early style that has a brass nut on a post. This is one of those touches from Olympia, because when you have this mounted, the only way to get to this one of these cat screws is through that hole. There are some machines that don't have that hole, very early ones. And when it doesn't have that hole, you just about weep, because the only way to get, if that hole is not there, the only way to get that bolt out is to take the boiler off, or you make yourself, I don't even know I can find it. It's been so long since I've had one of those. You either reach in on the side, you reach in from the side, there it is. I took a hex and I cut it off so it's short. And with a tool like this, you can reach in. If that hole's not there, you can sneak this thing in here and get that cap bolt out. But most of them have the holes so you can reach that last cap. Now, I've often been asked, how do I get the badge off if I want to repaint it? The way you get the badge off, if you're going to repaint, is your propane. You take your propane torch and you heat up. If you're going to repaint, it doesn't matter. You heat up the back here, and then you take a little blade and get it under the corner, and once the glue lets loose, you can slowly pop this thing off without bending it, but that's the way that comes off. There's another issue, is there's two kinds of strain relief. I think I need to get some new steel wool. Okay, this is called the strain relief, and this piece keeps the cord, that if you grab it by the cord, it doesn't pull out any of the components. So the strain relief, there's two kinds. This is the old kind that's completely round, and then there's the modern kind is made by whoever makes the tool, Heiko, and it's a two-part strain relief. But if you're going to take that cord out, this is a strain relief plier, and this is the tool for removing that. And even this type here, this round type, it works the same way. And this is about a $75 tool, and you can, if you want to take this out, and I see no reason to demonstrate overly, but you grab it, it compresses the internal of that strain relief, and you just lift it right out. It's with this tool, and you can reuse the strain relief. You don't have to get a new one. You can just put it right back in, because it doesn't damage anything, it doesn't scratch the paint. But that's the strain relief tool if you're going to need to do that. Okay, enough blather on this. As you can see, it's time to install this so we can stand back and marvel at it. We get all of our wires down there and out of the way, and get our batch of parts. Is that I basically take this at this point, and boy, that thing is so shiny, probably dazzling your lens. I just hang it from the bolts. You don't need to put the nuts on yet. You just find out where it is. These are all three the same length. right? I just hang it like this and get these started. You don't necessarily want to tighten them up completely yet. And of course you get the hex that fits that one, which I believe is this. Probably not, it's probably the next one up. It's the next one up. That would be a 3. Just hold that still with your finger. You get it started because you don't want the there. You just get that thread going. Maybe not. There it goes. That would just hold it there. Find another one. Trying to hold that nut still, not using any tools or anything, but I'm not being real successful with it. Okay, well that's going to stay there. Let me get a tool on that. This is this little nut that's hard to... There, I got a few threads on that one. Because the thing that we're going to really need to line up is that bottom, that little brass screw that's on the bottom. Let's get these started. Somehow. Okay, those are all started on the thread. Now, if you don't have one, this is a very handy type of thing to use. Is a screwdriver that grabs a screw-holding screwdriver. This makes it very handy. And I'll line up just look straight at it, line up that little hole, and in goes the little screw. Now this is the one we want to tighten first. Okay, we tighten this one first so that socks in. Push in, get a good fitting screwdriver. Now we come across here and we tighten these top 3. What did I do? Get the wrong one? Nope, that's the right one. I just hold that nut still with my finger until it gets tight. Then I get a tool and I finish it off. That one's done. Caught it. Just basically keeping that from turning because it has a tendency to self-tighten. As you can see, things are getting a little closer. I have to get on that. As I said, this is just a real tight base. It's an 8mm nut, and it's just real tight to get that in there. And then once you tighten it down, you can get the wrench stuck, which is why I use this. Okay, and now it's looking pretty spiffy. Well, I'll use up the rest of my time to talk about a little bit about this down here. As you can see, this is what I was talking about with the hole and the cap screw. Is that hole is to reach that screw if you're going to change the heating element or you're going to change that gasket with the boiler on the machine. There's, of course, that we'll be hooking up the electrical at another point. How much time are we sitting on, Barb?
We are at 9:37.
Okay, so I think we got time to get this electrical put on so it's no longer
And the
dangling.
battery's starting to flash.
Battery's flashing?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we'll do the electrical on another time because there's a few things to talk about with this connection, And so I think we're done for the night. Wouldn't that be nice to be done for the night?
That would be nice.
Nice. We're done for the night. We'll take this up tomorrow. I think we're going to have a running machine tomorrow. So good night, everybody. That's on the frame. Getting better.